Hi, so welcome to this episode of Listening Detective TV. I have the lovely Lesley Downs here, who is a couple coach. So welcome, Lesley.
Hi.
And we've got you on today because I met you a couple of days ago at the networking, and we've known each other for a long time. And you were talking about this amazing event that you've got on the 30th of November. Now, remind me, is it Emsworth area?
It's in a community cafe called Hewitt's in Emsworth. So it's literally a few yards from the harbour.
Yeah. So put that date in the diary, 30th of November. And this is about couple coaching. And this is for you if you are somebody that's going through change right now. If you are, because tell me a bit more about you. I'll let you do the talking instead of me. Tell me about the couples that you think that will really, really benefit from this day coming to work with you, Lesley.
This is a program that I've developed for people who are feeling a bit stuck, perhaps feel as though their relationship's in a bit of a rut. They may be arguing a lot, they may be just not talking at all, or perhaps the kind of intimate side of the relationship has disappeared, or there's no affection. But it's people who basically know that they want to stay together, but they don't want it to stay as it is at the moment for the next 20 years. They want to have an opportunity to improve that relationship. So I'm going to share lots of tools and knowledge about how they can kind of improve things for the future.
Yeah. And when you described the cafe, when we were talking about it, you said it's got this lovely sort of layout, so you'll be able to do some group work and then go off on their own as a couple in the cafe bit and just practice some of the techniques and have a go at it. Because there's nothing worse, is it, when you do these courses or you watch a live video and they say do it, and then you go and do it with your husband. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But you practice these tools with your partner and it doesn't quite go as they say it should do on the program.
Right.
And so you're offering them the opportunity to go and have a bit of play and then come back and go, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and unpack it. Because I see it so often, even with, I know you and I both working sort of one-to-one coaching and counselling, and so you'll say something to somebody, give them an idea of an activity they can do, and then when they go and do it in their own, it never quite goes how it should have done in the textbook, does it?
Well, that's it. And so many times, you know, I mean, I do it myself. You go to a training course or something and you make loads of notes, but then when you go back home, it doesn't quite make the sense that it did when you were making the notes. So the way that I'm working with this particular program is that I really want it to be something that couples can practice there and then. So if I give them a new tool or a new way of communicating, a new technique, then they'll get a chance there and then to practice, and I'll be around to kind of help them, and then they can come back and they can discuss it. But yeah, you quite rightly said the cafe has a sort of a hall at the back that we can use for presentation, and then there's a lovely kitchen, and then at the front you've got the cafe bit with lots of tables and chairs. So there is an element of kind of semi-privacy. It won't be 100% confidential, but couples can go and sit at the table and work on something that I've given them together. So yeah, I think it'll work really well. It's a lovely place.
Yeah.
It's a really bright, pleasant environment. It's really nicely done.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about Lesley is that you can hear it anyway when you listen to her. She's got this real calmness about her. Those who work with me know I get very excited and I have to practice the calm. Whereas Lesley's naturally very calm and has this lovely way of just putting people at peace, and you're just able to structure it in a very sort of timely way so people can take it on in bite-sized chunks. So I'm very going to quickly share your, if I can, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I've lost it now. Oh, I was so organised. No, it's gone there, so I can't do that. I was going to look at the Become model you've got, because one of the other things I just want to leave couples with is if you want to become more romantic, you talked about, become more connected, become, you know, getting back to being together. If you've been very focused on the family or maybe very focused on your business or something else has happened and you now want to get back to doing things more together, this is the course for them, isn't it? This is the place to come and find out the tools and practical ways.
Yeah, very, very much so. And the Become couples coaching model that you can't find at the moment, I mean, it's an acronym. I love acronyms. So the B is about building a bridge from where you are now to where you want to be.
Yeah.
It's, that's what I help people to do, really, is to build that bridge. The E is for exploring how you've got to the place that you are. If you're not quite happy with where you are now, how did you get there? Because we can use that information to work on and to see how we need to change it. Because we all come to things from a different place with a completely unique map of our own internal world, and it's about bringing those things together, because what happens is people bring different expectations to the relationship.
Absolutely.
So we have a look at that. The C is about communication, because communication is so important in having a conscious relationship with a partner, having that effective communication. So I give people some communication tools, some new ways of communicating. And I know that listening is really important in your world, and it is in mine too. So getting people to listen to each other 100% is one of the tools that I love using with clients. The O is for the outcome. So where do they want to be? And what I do, one of the things that we'll do is I'll be getting the couples to create a vision for their future together. So they both come into it with their ideas, and then we negotiate and compromise, and they create a vision that becomes a mantra for their marriage, if you like, something that they can hold up, put up on the wall, and look at every day. M is for motivation, because we all lose track sometimes. I talk about how many people have started a diet on a Monday morning and finished by Monday evening because we've lost the motivation. So I give the couples that I work with some tools to help them to stay motivated. Just little things that they can do for each other that will keep them on track.
Yeah.
And the last thing is for education, because if you're going to build a bridge and you've never built a bridge before, you might need some new skills. You might need to learn some new stuff. So I can give people lots of tools and resources.
Fabulous. It's a day. And I haven't asked you the question, but how much is it?
I've put it up. It's £197 for a couple.
Fabulous.
I'm quite clear about that. That's for the couple, and that's for the whole day. So we're meeting at 9:30 in the morning. There'll be like coffee and pastries to start off with, so that we get time just to introduce ourselves and everything, and then start kind of work proper, if you like, at 10 o'clock, and we'll go through till 5:30, and there'll be lunch break. Emsworth, if you don't know it, is an absolutely superb little place. It's right on Chichester Harbour, very pretty, lots of little cafes. You can go for a walk around the harbour at lunchtime. So it'll be a nice day.
It is a gorgeous space. It's a gorgeous space.
It will be a nice day out.
Well, it's even in my back. I wasn't thinking this. I might go and talk to my husband and go, because I don't think it doesn't matter. We've got a really good relationship. I've got, the communication tools, but what we don't always have, which is what I create for my clients, is that space and time to actually think about how do we want our future to be now that we're not so focused on the business, or we're not so focused on the children. What do we want our relationship to be like? And where do I? And I don't think even when people first meet, they really ever give their relationship that time to think about it. They kind of get caught up in the love and the excitement, and this is lovely, and then we get caught up in business, in life, whether it's work or family, and then we start wondering when it doesn't work. And I think most of the time it's because we don't have that clarity of what we wanted in the first place. We don't have those visions to measure against, whether we're keeping to our core values and what matters to us, and are we sticking to what we agreed.
Well, you and I are both coaches, Cheryl, and we've known each other for a long, long time. And we know as coaches, you have goals. You set goals, and you have a vision of what you want when we work with clients. But as you quite rightly say, we don't do that. We don't tend to do that in our personal relationships.
Not enough.
It's amazing to watch the process when I do this with clients, kind of on a 1-to-2 basis in my office, and you watch the process where they come in with their own ideas, and then and often they're really surprised that a lot of their ideas are the same. There's a few tweaks and things to make it a joint vision, but it then becomes that it really is something to live by and to remind themselves of on a daily basis. this.
Big companies do it, don't they? They do their vision and mission statements, they get their core values out, and they actually have it out there. They have them as mantras, they have them as a guiding light for all those, which reminds me now, the lighthouse metaphor, which I'll confuse our viewers now when they're listening there, but it's obviously you are there helping people effectively get that lighthouse, that guiding thing, that this is what we've committed to, this is what we're promising each other, and this is what we both want. I have to say I'm really excited about it, and I hope people take you up on the offer. I hope that there's a full house and that lots of people go there and get the opportunity to do that. For those that are watching, if you're sat there and you're feeling very irritated and frustrated because there's not a chance on Sundays of you getting your partner there because the thought of doing that kind of self-development, they just wouldn't go out the door, then please don't forget to give me a call, because I'd be more than happy to work with you to get that drama unpacked. And you never know, maybe you'd be on the next one of Lesley's courses and you would have changed that communication and got there, or you've just better change it from you doing it. Because sometimes it's love to do it together. Sometimes it's just one person in the relationship. It has to be the person that sparks things off. And I know you do one-to-one coaching as well, Lesley. It's sometimes you just have to be the catalyst. If you want things to change, don't wait for your partner to get into it. Start the process yourself and come and talk to someone like myself or Lesley, and get those clues, those tools, those resources that will get your partners interested in these kinds of programs to work together.
Well, there's a saying that I use a lot with clients, and that is, there are two things in this world that you can't change. You can't change the past, because that's done and gone. You can't change other people. You can only work on yourself. So yeah, starting with yourself, and then quite often when we start to change ourselves, other people kind of come along with us because they suddenly get different reactions. Different responses. So
and I think for those that we're going to keep this short, but I think this is really valuable stuff, and I'd love to share it with it. Those people, and I'm sure you've been there as well, and I know I was, you get to that point where you're the adaptable person. You go, why do I always have to be the one that changes? Why is it always me? But what I want to say is, it's because you're the one that's unhappy. Because at the end of the day, you're unhappy. So if you're putting it out there that somebody else needs to do something differently in order for you to be happy, what we're saying is change it so that you are happy. And funny enough, if you stop nagging them, if you stop being so critical, if you're happier in yourself, the system around you does change. And if it doesn't, then you've got some more information to work with, and then that's when you have to make big decisions. And that's where I tend to get more involved. I tend to get involved with more people with, shall I stay or shall I go? And then, whereas you've got them at definitely they want to stay and they want to make it better, which is great that we've got those tools and resources out there. So if there's anything else you want to add before we leave it, we will leave the link to Lesley's website, which is lesleydowns.co.uk. If you go to the homepage, scroll down a little bit, there's a box there that says click on here for the event. You get all the details and book on it. If not, just look up her contact number and give Lesley an email or a call. And I wish you all the best with that event on the 30th of November. If there's nothing else you want to say, we'll log off. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks a lot for your time.